Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining me again. It's officially week 2, but it's day 4 in the typical Advent calendar, but it's the week 2 in the High Church Advent season. And there are differences. I wanted to kind of go over this a little bit because I kind of touched on it, but I think I really need to go into a little bit more. That there are, again, differences in the way or the order that many of the churches celebrate or express or acknowledge Advent. Some have different weeks assigned. Most all of them have hope as the first week, but there's variations after that. So I'll kind of go over and just share with you 2 different locations that I found, sites that I found that kind of explain their differences a little bit and the similarities as well. But just know that it's more of the denominations, and it's, like I said, mostly high churches. Like what I mean by high church, if you're not familiar with that, is the Episcopalian and Catholic and a lot of Presbyterian and more Cooperative Baptist or other Baptists sometimes as well. But it's just, and there's nothing wrong with or not doing these or not acknowledging these, but it's the types of churches that typically do acknowledge these. And I just think because I've learned it, I wanted to share it. And I think it's really interesting. And the more we dig on the Bible, the better in our lives, right? And especially when, a lot of people talking about even Christmas on top of other holidays or originated by pagan holidays. And there's a lot of discrepancy of when Jesus was actually born. Really wasn't December 25th. There's a lot of things like that. There's no 100% on a lot of different dates and things as that. And even some locations, specific locations in the Bible. Like when I went to Israel, they're saying this is probably the location where the Last Supper was and stuff like that. We don't need to get tied up in that, though. The beauty of learning the Bible is the beauty of learning the Bible, and it's like anything in life. Nothing is always concrete as far as locations and dates. But the bottom line is the Bible is by the hand of God and the voice of God given to those that wrote it. So anyway, I think I've kind of explained that a little bit the best I can. There's also a candle for each week that is lit. There's the basic Advent calendar, but there's a candle, but there's also one for specifically for each week. And a lot of those are, they're basically assigned a different color to represent them. And again, those kind of go with what week in order that the different churches celebrate them or acknowledge them. So 2 examples after my rambling. One is the first candle is purple, and it symbolizes hope. It's sometimes called the prophecy candle, in remembrance of the prophets, especially like I've read in Isaiah so far, who foretold the birth of Jesus Christ. The second candle, they would say, is also purple, but it represents faith. And most churches say faith, hope, love, and peace, or faith, hope, joy, peace, and love, or whatever order. But this one says faith, and I think that's very interesting. It's called the Bethlehem candle. It's a reminder of Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem. The third candle is pink, and it symbolizes joy, and it's called the shepherd's candle, and it's pink because rose is a liturgical color for joy. On the 4th week of Advent, they light the purple candle to mark the final week of prayer and penance as we wait for the birth of our Savior. The final candle is the angel's candle, symbolizes peace. This is the 4th one. But also, most churches that celebrate Advent have a 5th week, and it's the white candle, which is the beginning of the 12 days of Christmas as well. But the 5th candle is right after actual Christmas, and or it's lit on Christmas Eve even. I think that's more typical, actually. But it's called the Christ candle. It represents the life of Christ, and therefore it's white. So hope, faith, joy, and peace. And maybe in that one they're saying peace, faith and love are kind of the same thing, which, we could see maybe. But that's from Mercy Home. .org. So you can look them up, and I'll give you the reference in my comments. Another one, BibleStudyTools.com. They have the first one as the Prophet's Candle, okay, and it's purple, which lit during the first week, and it symbolizes hope again. The Bethlehem Candle is peace, it's purple. The Shepherd's Candle is joy, and it's pink or rose colored. And then fourth is the Angel's Candle, it's purple as well, and during the fourth week of Advent, but it represents love. And then, of course, the fifth one is the same. So the first and the fifth seem to be the same, but there's always variations, and that's okay. So white, and it's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, typically represents the Advent child, the birth of Jesus. So that's hope, peace, joy, and love. So a lot of things you may see, and that's BibleStudyTools.com. It's a lot of things you may see online or otherwise have peace or joy right now, even faith or love. So, and it's okay, again. So back to the daily reading that I have today, and again, that even varies, and sometimes different churches will do it, change up the verses for each day of the Advent as well, to kind of get us all the different parts of the building up of the birth of Jesus. But I'm following one that has some more of Isaiah for today, which is, my resource of that is raiseyoursword.com, and I'll put that on the page as well. So I suggest you look into your church's listings of how they celebrate the week and daily readings, and if they don't, then, look into other ways, other sites, but also do your own research, like I say, remembering that there are multiple ways, and no one way is perfect or the only way. Even that may be a discrepancy for some people. And it's okay, anyway. So today's reading is the fourth day on my little homemade Advent calendar. Day 4 is Isaiah chapter 7, verses 10 through 14. Little Christmas tree. So that reads, again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, ask the Lord your God for a sign, whether in the deepest depths or in the highest heights. But Ahaz says, I will not ask. I will not put the Lord to the test. Then Isaiah said, hear now, you house of David. Is it not enough to try the patience of humans? Will you try the patience of my God also? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel. Thanks be to God. So, since I mentioned joy as the second week yesterday, this is how I will follow. That's particular schedule I will follow. Other ways, again, like I said, are do it differently. So I will, for the rest of this week, kind of also lean towards and go into more of the things about joy. But I also want to say that there are other ways and other purposes in Advent, things that we really need to bring out. A church I went to had a little thing of a list of the 25 days of Advent, 25 days, and each day is kind of an act of goodness or kindness for someone else or someone in the community or organization. So I'm going to catch you up for just it's cute little statements, sweet little statements. So day 1 would have been give someone a hug or a compliment. We could catch up with those things. That's not a hard thing to do, is it? Day 2 would have been let someone in front of you in a line. Well, that's hard. Traffic's challenging, isn't it? So we have to work on that. But also in the grocery line or Walmart or whatever, when you're already waiting forever and it's so busy, especially we have to self-checkout sometimes. Day 3, buy a friend or colleague coffee or tea, whatever they may like or something. That's not a hard thing if you're around them to do it. Or whatever, a meal, whatever. Day 4, which is where we are today, hold the door open for someone. Going in and out of a store, sometimes we just let it go right in front of somebody, and that's sad. You know, it really is hurtful, especially when we should respect our elders or the disabled and so on, and children, you know, that can't hold it for themselves or shouldn't have to. We should give them respect. So I think those are basic things that are great. And we'll get into more of the calendar and what joy is for this week and the kindnesses and the goodness acts. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks for bearing with me and my little rambling and the little look. I just kind of go and God leads and I do the best I can, and I hope you can follow. God bless. Love y'all. Bye-bye.